people think salespeople are just, you're a good talker and that's sales.
Our AI is better than the best sales coaches in the world.
Can you talk about why your old school sales manager is toast? Welcome back to the Exit Rich podcast here, everyone. I have Mo Abyss. I hope I didn't pronounce it too bad. Mo Abyss. He actually is the author of the 1 minute close, right? The 1 minute, what is it? 1 minute or 1 meeting close?
1 meeting close.
1 minute, 1 meeting close for home service contractors. I like that. You should be closing on the first time. And for everyone listening, make sure you get to the Roofing Process Conference this year, December 3rd, 5th. Marco Island, get your ticket now for the Roofing Process Conference. Tickets will sell out. Mo, welcome to the show. Tell everybody who you are real fast. Obviously, you're in the AI business and you compete with other platforms with sales coaching, which, everyone needs in the home service-based business. Plus, you own home service-based businesses yourself that do about 40 million. So introduce yourself real fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it. I've been in the trades most of my life before I started building software products since I was 19 years old, from going door to door, selling different services, to building multiple companies in the trades that do a combined of $40 million in sales. I wrote the book, The 1 Meeting Close Blueprint, which is a playbook of how the top 1% of sales reps in the home service industries close in the first meeting. And I'm the CEO and founder of Sales Ask, where we have the world's greatest AI sales coach that can help coach your reps to increase their sales and ticket values.
All right, so let's just jump into a few things here, right? You have your own home service-based businesses, 40 million, it's a lot of revenue. Most people never see that type of revenue. But first of all, I got to say this. I just said this to Mo. He's from Canada, but he spends half his time in California in the tech side. Like, guys, you got to look this guy Mo up, man. He's good looking, man. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go eat chicken and fucking vegetables and you're laid back too. It must be the San Fran thing. So you're doing 40 million, right? You're doing 40 million. Talk about the process there of growing and scaling, because that's not easy to get to those type of numbers. And most people never see those type of numbers. Can you talk about what you've been through and what you and your partners have had to do to get here?
Yeah, absolutely. First, I'll say most people stop along the way because it's easy to stop along the way. You're comfortable, you're happy, it's great. A lot of other entrepreneurs, they never get past the traps. So there's different levels in the business, and from 0 to 1 million is one level, 1 to about 5 million is another level, 5 to about 8, 9 million is another level. And then when you get to 20 million plus, it's a whole other beast at that point. Okay. Each one of these requires you to think and act different. When you're at the $1 to $2 million, I was doing that out of Starbucks, out of my truck. I didn't have an office. It was me meeting customers, managing jobs, micromanaging. I was doing everything at 1 to 2 million. Okay. To go above 2 million, you have to shift your mind and you must start hiring other people. You need leverage. You got to start building a machine, right? So from 2 to 5 million, you are hiring maybe some friends, some people maybe they're contract, maybe they're hourly, and you're starting to assemble a business, a process that is a bit more repeatable. Instead of you as this talented person figuring it all out, you need other people to generate value for your company. It's not very systemized at that point. And then you have to build an infrastructure. You don't typically make money between 2 and 5 million because you have to hire, at least from my experience, you have to hire a certain base level of infrastructure that will make you very profitable, but at a certain dollar figure. And why is that, right? So what I found to be much more profitable is when you go from 5, 6 to 10, 11, 12 million. Because if you hired a financial controller, it's the same person that was helping you when you were doing 3 million at 10 million, but your sales are way higher. Your office doesn't need to get 4 times bigger, right? That you got at 3 million when you're at 10 million. So a lot of the infrastructure, the capital expenditures that you spend early on, they yield you a much higher return as you scale up, which is kind of like counterintuitive. It's kind of weird that as your company gets bigger, you could actually get more profitable, but that's exactly what I found to be the case. and it gets more and more profitable. It kind of caps at a certain point, but we're making more as a percentage based profit doing 20 million than we were at 5 million.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I call every business under 5 million the swamp. I call it the swamp. Like you're living in the swamp, you're doing everything. It's complete chaos normally. Like you said, you're working out of your truck, might have an office. Yes, you're making money, but there's no systems, no processes. And then once you start building that up, it just skyrockets. It's like bang. Wait a minute. I lost money last month. I lost money last month. Then the hockey stick goes in. You're like, I made money. I made money. I made holy Lord, the register just keeps going, right? If you do it right. I'm with you. I do think there's another level too. I think once you get to 50 million is another level. And I think once you get to 100 million is another level. I think there are different CEOs and different entrepreneurs that runs those kind of companies. Make sense? Just very different.
100%. Totally
Yeah.
agree with you.
I mean, I know I never want to take a company past 50 million. And people are like, well, you got Lance, you do over 100 million this year. Yeah, in multiple companies though. Like if I took one single company to 100 million to 200 million, sure, could I do it? But the learning curve and the change in my behavior I would have to do to get there just isn't worth it to me. Why don't you just keep taking companies from 2 to 3 to 4 million to 25, 30 million, 40 million and sell it? I mean, these companies, people want to buy these companies all day long. Yes, am I losing a few turns by not going to each one get them to 100 million? I'm sure I'm losing a few turns, but I'm exiting a lot faster than trying to get all the way there. Does that make sense, Mo?
Yeah, that's like the local maximum rule, which is, you could sell at perhaps call it 50 million, and the local maximum, you'll get like a X amount of multiple. And in order to really make that much higher, it's not 100 million. It's got to be even higher than 100 million. You've reached your local maximum, which is the best time to raise capital or sell the business is in a local maximum. Because to get to the next level, you'll get maybe like a slight improvement in valuation, but you're going to have to work like 5 times harder,
Oh, and have more leadership team and build the right stuff out. There's so much to it. And then you hit the debt lever unless you raise money, right? Like at those numbers you're hitting, you're either raising money or you're taking on enormous debt to keep going, right? Like just that's the turning point. Kind of like you said, hey, listen, between 1 and 5 million, if you're trying to set yourself up properly, you're not going to make a ton of money if you're trying to scale heavily. Same thing there. Here's a question for you, right? What's the biggest challenges that you see with people scaling? Like, what's the number one reason that, because you deal with business owners on your coaching group, with your AI coaching group, which we're going to talk about, obviously. But what's the biggest challenges that you see with contractors and business owners not being able to scale? Like, what's the number one reason you think?
So I've worked with hundreds of clients in Sales Ask, and we help them increase their sales with our AI app. Okay, and what I've noticed is, like, you would think there would be, some of them are really organized. Generally, they're all pretty reasonably organized. Okay, like just to like put that out there. But some of them are like super hyper organized, and some of them are kind of like sloppy in a way. And the sloppy one could be growing way quicker than the organized one. And the common denominator that I've noticed is how fast they move. Okay. And I can tell I'm dealing with a business owner. I explain Sales Ask, and some of them in that meeting, within a few minutes, they've bought, they've onboarded, they've booked this, they've done that. I'm like, you are going to be very successful because you're able to make decisions and move at a rapid rate. Whereas somebody else would be like, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I can't. And it's just like, and they have this big cognitive overload. They overthink things in a way, or they just can't really make those quick decisions. So number one, I would say, and this is how I hire everybody and I judge the talent of somebody, how quickly can you execute? How fast do you move? That's the main one. What drives that often is some kind of limiting belief, right? There's something they're waiting for, or something that happens, or they don't have the confidence, or they don't have the people or the systems or the money, and these limiting beliefs prevent them from moving at a rapid rate.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was on a call yesterday with an AI company that says, hey, we specialize in home services and whatever. So it caught my attention. First 7 minutes I was on the call and the guy was full of shit, right? Because I obviously I understand technology very well. So The guy goes, "You see when you checked out, man?" So I was like, "I was checked out after 3 minutes." He goes, "Why?" I said, "Because I would already bought your product if it's what I thought it was." Like, and I'm an easy sell because I execute like what makes me different than everyone else is I go fast, I implement faster, and I'll make changes even faster. And I'm not afraid to lose. Like, I'm not afraid to make a bad decision and say, I thought this was good. But like the AI company I was looking at to do this is I asked them to see his reporting. And you can tell a lot when somebody shows you their reporting and what it looks like and what notes are, especially with AI, right? And what the dashboard looks like. And I'm like, wait a minute, you are selling this for a good investment every month. But the only thing you have imported is your Google SEO. You don't have pay-per-click import API in. You don't have Facebook reporting API. Like, they're easy APIs if you're an AI company. Like, they're the easiest ones. And we're going off a beaten path here, but you get it. Like, with your artificial intelligence that you built in your sales ask, if I told you to go give me an API and import my Facebook reporting, you would laugh and have it done in about an hour with your developers. Like, it's a very simple code, right? Like, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
API.
There's no feature taking us more than a week to build. There's a few that you got to test them a little bit because they're a little bit complicated and higher risk to launch in a week. But if something is taking more than a week or two, I question it. There's a couple of rules around this. One of the most successful person I know didn't even have a laptop and didn't have a smartphone. Okay, Peter Fuscanalis. And he owned half of this entire region in Ottawa. And I'm like, I'm watching this guy. I'm like, how is this guy so successful? Right? He was the landlord of one of my buildings that we rented from. And I meet him, okay? And he's just prolific in his speed. I'm like, hey, Peter, I have this problem or I have this thing. He yells upstairs to the financial controller, come down, do this, sends him off. I give him another problem. He picks up the phone, solved. I'm like, this guy moves at a speed that's remarkable, right? And that's why he was so successful. So,
I mean, I do believe speed's a big piece of it. Here's a question for you guys, right? You guys do a lot of coaching, right? Obviously, you're coaching, but most people think salespeople are just, you're a good talker and that's sales. And that's the furthest from the truth. I mean, like that's like the biggest. People are like, "Oh, he's a nice guy. He speaks well." I'm like, "What the fuck does that have to do with selling?" Like, there's a lot of nice guys out there that couldn't sell water to a man on fire. Like, no, I'm not being rude. Like you're a great dad, you're a great coach, but you can't sell. Like, the guys that can sell because they've been trained to sell. They know how to pause, talk. They've been coached. No different than I consider sales the same thing as playing a sport. Your best athletes are coached well. Your best salespeople have been coached well. Can you talk about that and the myth of people just thinking salespeople are born?
yes, I actually think that's a fantastic question because look, sales is the lifeline, lifeblood of every contracting company. It is their top priority. Sales, I need leads. Every single customer we speak with, every company I know of, it's always the same conversation. It is the limiting factor for 99% of the companies. All right. So then what drives a great salesperson? All right. So we work with sales reps. All right. We're building Coach Dean, which is the world's greatest AI sales coach that'll coach the reps using AI. All right.
Coach Dean's is the AI agent.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
My man Dean, pots and pans.
Yeah, you got it. So what does this mean though? There's two parts to sales. And by the way, I think rapport is the most overrated feature of a sales rep. Everyone's like, yo, I build great rapport. I do rapport. It's all about rapport. I'm like, it's not. Let's just look, you don't need to spend 30 minutes building rapport when you're trying to make a deal happen right now. Okay. What you need to build is trust. That's what you need. I don't need 30 minutes to build trust. Okay. I can do it in 3 minutes. And then I can move on to the problem the person has. And I can move on to the solution, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a few parts to a great sales rep. Okay. First, I'm going to talk about the process. The process is your winning formula. It is your recipe for success. You could be a great baker, Okay. I could be a great baker. You could be a great baker. And you're going to bake a cake. And it's an awesome cake. And the next time you bake it, it's a little bit different and it's still pretty good, but it's not exactly the same as the first time, right? It's only until you have a process in place that you can consistently make a great cake. So you should at least have a process of how to bake that cake, or in your case, the process of selling your product. Okay. That's one part that you absolutely must need. That's unrelated to the salesperson. You can train them on the process. Our AI will verify they follow the process, okay, beautifully. But that's the recipe. Then you have the salesman, and that's the salesmanship. That's the baker. And if it's a great baker, they have baked tens of thousands of cakes and souffles and muffins and whatever else so they could actually do a lot of that process off ad hoc, ad memory. They can go off script, and they're still going to make you a great product, right? So what drives it? Obviously, experience is a really big part of that, okay? But there's 8 steps to being a fantastic salesperson, which are all available in the One Meeting Close. I kind of break that all down. And the One Meeting Close is a bit of a misnomer. It's not literally always about a one meeting close. It's about creating sales velocity, not necessarily do I try to get the whole sale in the first meeting, right?
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Service Titan and Rilla, our technology of choice to helping us scale and grow our business and making sure all of our viewers have the technology to scale their business so when they want to sell it, they're able to.
So, I mean, I can talk about that in great depth. If you like what makes a great salesperson,
Sure. I mean, like, tell me what you think makes a great sales. Listen, I have salespeople all around the country, and I have a difference of opinion than most people, right? I think, and I'll be very transparent. If you don't train your people, you're going to be in for a long road, and you have to constantly train, reinforce, because salespeople, most of them are emotional roller coasters. They just are. The majority of them. It's ups, downs. When I just been my guy Alex out here do push-ups with me. I had to make an appointment yet today. I'm like, get down and put your energy's off. Like everything matters, right? Like, yes, I do believe in the process of, when I was selling Yellow Pages, they had a 5-step process, right? And it was open the call, right? It was build report, right? Then it was find the problem, right? Like discovery, see what's going on with the business, give a solution, wait for the objection, overcome the objection, and close, right? Like that was the problem. When I didn't go through that process, my close rate went down, right? I'm very transparent with people. I've never did in-home sales, but I know we have a step-by-step process here that we use. I know a lot of people have a 10-step process or 8-step process. I do believe you gave the bakery, and I used French fries from McDonald's all the time. The reason why the French fries at McDonald's always taste great, and I've been all around the world, India, you name it, some crazy countries. I go when I get McDonald's French fries, they taste the same anywhere, because it's the same process to make them everywhere. And I just believe for salespeople, if you have a great process, you're going to come out better normally than you come out worse. I mean, so I'd love to hear your opinion on salespeople.
Absolutely. Agree on the process. And a big part of what Sales Ask does is when it listens to the conversation between the rep and the client, it identifies if the process is being followed, and then it'll actually coach the reps around that process. But beyond that, you need to go beyond the process, okay? It's not like somebody could follow the process and they're very robotic, they're thinking too much, they don't, they lose the trust, they don't come off as an expert, they can kind of check off a box, but there's no underlying skill, which is the salesmanship behind just following the process. So what makes a great salesman and a great sale? What does a one meeting close ultimately? Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to pre-frame the meeting. Okay, so pre-frame is you're going to drop a whole bunch of anchors. Like when for example, if you're going to go meet a customer, you're going to tell them, I'm going to understand your project. I want to understand, your needs. And then if it all checks out, I'll build you an estimate. If that goes good for you, we'll sign it off, pre-frame, and then we'll book you in with the build team. Does that sound good? Yes, you just agreed to my pre-frame, right? You could pre-frame even ahead of time. Here's what to expect when the rep comes to your house. If all's good, we sign off and we get you started. Okay, another pre-frame. You can pre-frame, which gets you set up for the sale. That happens before or right when you get to the home. And then the thing is, you have to establish trust and authority. So how do you do that? There's a lot of ways not to do that. Like if you go in smelling like weed, like you just hit a joint in the car and you're gonna walk into that house, you've lost that sale. Like right off the bat.
Didn't Canada be one of the first countries to make weed legal? You got all type of shit going up where you live, throwing the weed out there, but I'm with you on that. Now I'm with you. You should be smoking weed going in, but weed is legal in Canada, isn't it?
It's legal pretty much. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I mean, I know it's almost pretty much legal anywhere in the country now here, right, nearly?
Couple states are against it.
There's a couple of states against it. I mean, I don't smoke weed, but, I just thought that was a funny comment. But yeah, I mean, you're right. You shouldn't be smoking like weed or alcohol for sure.
At least good after you get the sale. At night. Yeah, go win the game first. All right, so you're in there and then you establish trust. So how do you establish trust? You got to be competent. If you're not competent in your product, you lose the game right away. So how do you get competent? This is how you tell somebody's competent. They could explain the product in one sentence, in one paragraph, and in a chapter, right? Like for Sales Ask. We have the world's greatest AI sales coach. We help companies in the trades make more money. One paragraph. It listens to the conversation between sales reps and clients at the kitchen table, analyzes those conversations, identifies if they're following the process, allows managers visibility into those conversations, and then Coach Dean will actually coach your reps on every single meeting to improve their sales. Okay. And then we can get into like the details behind that, which is what we're doing now. So how do you establish trust when you walk into the home? Competency. If you go and say, hey, yeah, actually, and you give them a fact about their house that's specific, okay, like how the insulation is done or how the load bearing is or the type of roofs that are here and why they were there, right out of the bat, this person's of authority. They are an expert. So you park beautifully, you look sharp, you shake their hand, you look them in the eye, you establish the agenda, you comment on their house, you're the pro. They're going to immediately default to everything that you say. Okay. So that's a huge part of it, is the instant trust. And then you do discovery. And this is where people are not, there's two things they do too much of: rapport building, shooting the shit too much. And then they don't do enough discovery. Why did you call us? Oh, you have a leak, you want to redo your kitchen, or you have a roof leak here. How long has it been going on? What does it mean for you? Why have you not solved this already? Okay. Who else lives here with you? Does it affect their room? All right. How does it like in the winter? Okay. Have you talked to anybody else? What matters to you? Are you more like an aesthetics person? Are you driven by price? So you start asking questions and you get the discovery. Honestly, if you just do that really well, they'll end up selling themselves.
100%. 100%.
And then from there, you go into future pace the outcome, right? So, okay, you understand the problem. What does it look like if this is solved for you? What is an ideal solution for you? How does it affect your family? If you take the roof as an example, I mean, I would go outside. When I'm giving them the estimate, I would say, okay, that's the problem right there. Okay, here's what it could look like. Show them a photo or some kind of visual. Like, you see a roof? That's what it would look like. How does that feel to you? Can you imagine that? Okay, we can do that in a week from now. And if is this the kind of roof that you would imagine yourself with? With that, this would definitely stop all the water. You'd have a dry home. Okay, so you start getting to imagine your outcome that you're looking for. And the imagination is a powerful thing. And you're familiar with the placebo effect, right?
Oh, yeah.
30% placebo. Yeah. The placebo is magical. I love the placebo, so the placebo effect is very hard to beat. And it's whatever somebody believes or imagines, like it's essentially a third of the time it's going to come through. Okay. So it's very powerful. And I like to use that as much as possible. Surface the pain, future pace the outcome. Then you present the option. This is like a good, better, best scenario typically. A lot of people skip this. I even do this sometimes. I just go to the one I think is the best fit. But you should always present 3 options because the human brain is going to go with the middle option, typically. Okay? Depending on the person, but usually it's the middle option. A good, a better, a best. Even if they're completely out to lunch, the high one is an anchor. The low one's not going to have what they want. So they're going to look at the higher one. This is a good one. You present the options. All right? And then from there, you ask for the close. Most people are just, I don't know what it is, the fear of rejection. They just don't want to ask directly because if you don't ask directly,
That is, it's true. Because like, I got no problem saying, pull your credit card out, let's swipe nice and play nice. Well, I'm not I'll say that to anyone. Like, these people think I'm crazy. I'm like, I know what we deliver, so I'm not worried about asking. People want to give you your money. They contacted you for a reason. Like, they know they got to spend money when they contact you.
yes,
They
I
know
agree.
they got to spend money. So
Yes.
it doesn't matter. Did you like prove value? Like, that's it. Like, and if they tell you no, you didn't prove value.
Well, here's what it is. So people don't want to ask because if they don't ask, they haven't gotten a no. And if it's not a no, it's a maybe. And if it's a maybe, it stays in their pipeline. When they talk to their manager, they have all this pipeline. They can maybe get it.
Bullshit. It's all
Bullshit.
bullshit. It's all bullshit. Pipeline, swipe line.
73% of meetings that don't close in that first meeting will never end up closing. The client is they have the most information of your company. They just thought about the pain. They are in a buying state. They will never ever be as motivated to buy as they are in the moment with you when they've gone through all that and have.
I agree.
I'm agreeing.
I agree.
So the other thing that it does,
Again, sorry.
the other thing that it does is it's why it's important to ask is it'll surface objections, right? And right away, you're going to get the reason why they can't buy when you ask them. And I like to ask, is this something you're good with? Can we move forward with this? Yes, no, be like, well, what would hold you back? What's holding you back right now? And then they start giving you the objections. It's like, all right, that's when the game really begins.
Yeah.
Right? And then you get the signature. A lot of people, they get a commitment to close and they keep trying to sell the customer. Stop talking. Stop. Shut your mouth. Go get a signature. And then when they do sell them, the final step is you have to, don't just leave them. So many companies, including our competitors, they get a sign, they move on. No, you need to get them onboarded, schedule them, make sure that know that you care about them so they don't cancel your contract, essentially.
No, how's this sound for a close? I never did home services, but you did. But I'm sitting there and I say, hey, Mo, is there any reason here today that you believe my company wouldn't give you a 5-star experience and make sure that you're taken care of all the way on this project? Is there any reason, Mo?
From what I've heard of your company right now, I think you guys seem really solid. So I'd have to, I don't know how much of an objection you want me to give. A lot of times they might.
I'm just asking you about the experience. Do you believe that we'll give you a great experience? It's all.
It's for the experience. I believe you would give me a great experience. Yes.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Exit Rich podcast, the podcast that will be live from the Roofing Process Conference. Tickets went fast last year, and they are already on pace to sell out. Get your tickets before it's too late. And do you believe we take care of you?
I believe you would take care of me.
Now, here's another question for you, Mo. Do you believe our price is fair and reasonable and kind of what you expected compared to the others that were in here? They're going to give you a 5-star experience and take care of you and make sure you're happy.
The price is a little higher than I was hoping for.
Is the experience and the reliability of what we're going to provide for you worth that to you, Mo, to make sure you have peace of mind? We're not a fly-by-night company that once we do your job, we're out of here.
That's the question. That's the key question, right?
Would you agree most relationships have a similar behavior pattern? I mean, if I have a good relationship with 1 girl, 2 girls, 3 girls, The fourth girl I'm probably gonna have a good relationship with. Would you agree to that, Mel?
Yeah, I would agree with that actually. Yeah.
So right here we have over 500 reviews on Google, and I got over 50 video testimonials here of happy customers with us that paid and invested the same amount you are for what our services here today. Do you believe for any reason we wouldn't give you the same relationship as them?
I actually really like that reference point. I think it's a really good reference point. I might add that to my little pitch. That's good.
Oh, Mo, do you see any reason why we can't move forward? Because I'm excited here to do this project with you, and so is my team. I can get you on the schedule. Is there any reason why we can't move forward today?
The only reason would be the price related one. So I'd have to get over the fact that this is a little more expensive in compared to some of the other ones that I saw. But I mean, it does sound like you guys will do a good job.
And what's the difference in price between our bid and the next one that you're looking at that you're thinking about?
About 20%.
About 20%? Now, Mo, I'm going to be very transparent with you here. 20% is my profit on the job. I can't do that. That'd be mathematically impossible. Don't you want my family to eat and don't you want me to make money?
Of course I want you to make money.
Right? Because I want you to be happy with our services. But Mo, what I can do for you here, if you give me a minute, I can step outside because I don't want to take the experience away from you. And I don't want to lessen the materials. I don't want to do anything. But if I could get this reduced by 7-8%, would you feel comfortable moving forward that we're going to give you a better experience than that other bid?
I would.
Give me 5 seconds, Mo. Give me 5 minutes.
You got
No, my manager said we're good to do it, but is there any time frame that you can't do the job in? Because we have an opening tomorrow on the schedule, and we like to get out here in the next 48 hours. It's towards the end of the month, and we get discounts when we're buying things at volume, and we like to get you scheduled right away. Is there any way we can't get you on the schedule in the next 48 hours?
If you can give me like a 9% discount, I'll do it in 48 hours.
Great, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
And I didn't drop below 10%, and we give the 10% margin for all of our salespeople.
Yeah.
But you got to stay in there and just keep asking and moving. And like that, and I never did a home sales. I've always sold B2B advertising. I've never sold anything, but I'm like, man, I think I can make $1 million a year selling roofs. Because all you got to do is be nice and just talk to people and just ask for the order. So many salespeople are afraid of no. I'm doing this live on a fucking podcast. Tons and tons of people, tens of thousands of people are going to hear this. And I'm role playing you, probably stumbling and fumbling a little bit, but it only gets better and better as you keep doing it.
100%. That's exactly it. You need the reps, you need the experience, you need the coaching. That's why it's so important. Like you said, you got to coach your reps. Your reps need to be trained and coached consistently and held to that high standard. I am the same way. I'm 20 years. I've sold across so many products and industries, and I still make mistakes all the time. And I just learned something from you as well, which I'm going to use, right? The notion of,
What'd you learn?
I learned that when you said, hey, listen, like I have all these passwords, and I do the same thing with dates, let's say, or like whatever. But I have all these past relationships. And you believe that if somebody acts a certain way with someone in the past, they're probably going to act the same way with anybody else they meet, right? The past behavior is the best indicator of future behavior. Now, if you look at these reviews, you can see our past behavior over here. So you know how we're going to be treating you based on these testimonials and these reviews, right? I just want to show that to you. That's what you can expect from us. I like that. I'm going to introduce that.
Well, and the reason why is it's so true though. Obviously, my model is I partner with small businesses. I grow them. I sell them to private equity. I've done it 6 times now. We're about ready to our 7th and 8th LOI right now, right? And people are so scared when they partner. I don't blame them because it's so new to them of holy shit, I'm going to build my business, scale it, and then sell it. And I got to trust this guy and his team to go do it. And I just say, hey, listen, man, this has been my success. This is what we've done. Do you believe there'd be any different? And if you do believe it's going to be any different, don't do the deal. Right? Like, don't do the deal. If you don't believe it and you believe your behavior pattern of history is going to be the same as my future, then you do the deal. Because most people do in their 40s and 50s, they have the same behavior patterns, right? Like they're going to do the same things over and over again, good, bad, or indifferent, right? Like I tell people, like my downfall is I eat ice cream almost every night. I shouldn't, right? So I'm
No, come on. Do you actually? Come
I
on,
do,
man.
because I love ice cream. I shouldn't, but I love ice cream. So I say to my wife, it's around 9:30. I'm going to bed. I'm like, yo, can I get a bowl of ice cream? She just looks at me in disgust. And she's like, damn, dude, you did so good all day. You're going to kill it with ice cream. But I do. I don't drink that much anymore. So when you don't drink, you're sitting around the house. I'm looking for ice cream. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I stopped eating the cookies as much. Here's a question for you, my friend, right? And I know I appreciate your time and I really do like it. The days of hiring a sales manager are done, in my opinion, and everything's going to be AI coaching tools. I just really believe that from all my heart. Like the days of, I mean, I was a sales manager for years. I jumped in the passenger seat, drove with people all day, fucking miserable. You get to 2 appointments, 3 appointments. One of them would bust. You did waste your time. The rep wasn't prepped for the meeting, all the nonsense. Now, my team, we can listen to 15, 20, 30, 40 calls a day easily and never leave the office and coach the people back on mojos and other things. Can you talk about like why your old school sales manager is toast?
Yeah. So we actually go one step further than that. Like right now you're saying, I listen to 15 calls and I can coach them virtually, like a virtual ride along.
Right.
We go one step further. Say, what are you really doing? You are having a conversation with your reps. LLMs are uniquely good at this. Okay, this is the whole large language model AI premise, is the ability to have conversation. So why are you even doing this? Our AI is better than the best sales coaches in the world. So that's when I showed them demos. It's like, oh crap, this 100% meeting coverage. Pretty much nobody, I shouldn't say this, very few of our clients are actually giving a massive amount of coaching. They're relying a lot on Coach Dean to do that because it's so good. Like it's better than I can give coaching, right? And then it just goes to accountability at that point, right? Making sure that and then we have ways of doing that within the product as well. Yeah. So what is sales? Sales is a conversation. That's it. It's a conversation between a rep and a client. Sales management is a conversation between your rep and your sales manager. Okay. AI is world class and getting even better and better and better at analyzing conversations and creating conversations. Okay? This is all they do. They're large language models. So what you're betting on is that the AIs are going to get better and better and better at analyzing and then conversing. That's what we are betting on, essentially. It's
Well,
already there, bro.
Yeah, I mean, look at what's happened over the last 24 months. It's gotten insane.
You got it. So what does this mean? It means not that you won't have a sales manager, but that sales manager will do way more because they won't have to do a lot of the nuanced coaching. They won't have to check for insights. The AI is going to surface, at least in our product, the AI surfaces insights. The AI does the first level of coaching. And the sales manager is more just verifying all this, jumping in, spot checking, holding the team accountable, hiring, making targets that are set, and able to do more of like the relationship building with the reps than perhaps the day-to-day grind work that they were doing in the past, which doesn't really scale.
Listen, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for sponsoring the conference. I really do. The roofing conference in Marco Island, December 3rd through 5th. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you, my friend?
Salesask.com is the best way. You can check out our AI products, and you can reach me at Real Bass on Instagram or on LinkedIn. But just Google Sales Ask and you'll find my contact and the company.
There you go. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you being here. See you in a few months on Marco Island.
Thank you so much, sir. See you there.
Bye.